Anyway, my question is a little bit similar.
Okay.
I was just wondering if you could go downstairs, and there's no Archie downstairs this year. Where would you go? What would you do if you didn't have to be bothered by the rest of us?
Where would I go downstairs?
What panels would you go to? Who would you see if...
I hung out back here for I watched all the Marvel panel and shit.
Well, yeah, but you can meet them.
Yo, I don't. I stay fucking far away from famous people, man. And more importantly, they stay far away from me. Because they all hang out and talk, and you know Ben Affleck has all told them, don't be friends with Kev Smith. They'll fucking talk about you all day long and shit. Like, I saw Natalie Portman backstage, and I was like, hi, and she looked at me, she's like, oh, fuck, you know. Off she went and shit. So, I don't know, I would just go watch panels, I would try to go shopping, but like eBay kind of killed the need to shop at the con for me. I could just like, you know, back in the day, you would come to the con and be like, Jesus Christ, it's the fucking graffiti version of the Watchmen hardcover with the slipcase. I'll never see it anyplace else, but it's $100. Do I buy it here? Shit. And you think about it all con long. But with the advent of eBay, you're just like, oh shit, it'll be there, you know. And if it's not there, somebody else will be selling one next week when they see how well that sells and shit. So it kind of killed the need to go out on the floor for me, and you know, look, I put myself in the movies, which was dumb, because then people are like, hey, you're that fucking guy, put me in a terrible movie. So I can't really, if I walk on the floor, you know, you tend to stop and shit like that. And I always dream about coming in costume, you know, just like wearing a stormtrooper mask and shit. Coming as the fat stormtrooper. The one the Empire kicked out, like, what the fuck happened to this clone? Like, we hit the inflate button, I don't know. But I think I'd get picked out by my jean shorts and shit. They're like, he's the only stormtrooper wearing jorts. So I don't really, like, get to walk the floor that much, but it's okay. Like, I've watched the panels from backstage and shit like that. And now I got a kid, you know, and she runs out and buys a bunch of shit. And then I look at her shit when she brings it back and whatnot.
How old is she now?
She's 11. Yeah, she's a tween. She's getting close to that age and shit. Where I'm gonna be like, don't look at boys ever. You know? I'll just bring them here though. These are the boys that she can hang out with, you know. Safe pussies. Not pussies, respectful, you know. This is where I would tell my daughter, like, look, man, if you're gonna go shopping, first off, fuck dudes, date girls, because girls are hot and like way less complicated than boys, and there's none of those horrible penetration issues. But if you're not gonna do that, if you feel the need to date a fucking crusty old boy, come to Comic-Con, and that's where you're gonna find a dude who will be slobberingly grateful for any attention that you give his dick. And she's like, I'm 11, shut up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Excellent fez. I like the pins too, man.
Hi, Kevin. My name is Mike. Kevin, you can tell that everybody loves you here at Hall H. You're like the dessert at the end of a great meal. And
no, I just look like I ate all the dessert at the end of it.
And I would say this is what would go for everybody. You're Mr. Hall H.
That's so cute, man. Thank you.
Can I give it to you?
Yeah, fucking, I'll take a free piece of clothing. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Come find some way to get on up. That rocks, man. Thank you.
How big is it?
How big is it? Yeah. What size is that shirt, dude?
Hello.
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. My name is Nick Funk, and I was wondering, when, aside from smoking a joint, when you're looking for inspiration or you get writer's block, what do you do to continue on with your storytelling?
He was here last year, man. He's wearing, look at the shirt. He came up and he gave me a bag, and then I was like, come sit with me. And now he brought me a shirt, so I'm inviting him to sit down here. Ladies and gentlemen, the shirt giver. Okay, what do I do about writer's block? It doesn't really happen, man. I kind of, back in the day, I never really had a problem writing. I mean, writing, whether that writing was good or not, that's for somebody else to judge. But I never really had a problem writing, and the older I got, it really hasn't kind of kicked in yet either. And I find now, like, I always have THC floating through my system, and it kind of makes me real. I didn't say you could have a drink. And I find that makes me, like, I don't know, weed kind of affects people in different ways and shit. Like, hits my friends, most of them smoke and, like, kind of pass out or just want to watch TV, but I don't have that. I wish to God that I could get high and just watch television, but I don't. I get high and I'm immediately like, I gotta write something, and I just start writing stuff, and 9 times out of 10 it's fucking horrible and makes no sense and shit like that, where I'm just like, an octopus on the moon? What was I thinking, you know? But at the same time, I find it keeps kind of, I don't know, me creative, keeps me kind of sharp and shit like that. It's just fun, too. It kind of takes you into a different place and whatnot. And you write from a different side of the brain than you tend to, at least I wrote from a different side of the brain than I normally did. But I haven't had a block yet. I'm waiting for it and whatnot. A lot of people thought that Cop Out was the block, but that was just something to kind of do while I was waiting to start writing the next thing or something like that.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. No worries.
Hey, Mr. Smith.
Hey, man. How are you?
Not too bad.
Right on.
I'm a sailor in the Navy, and I was wondering if you knew how big of a following you have in the military.
I've heard from some people in the service that they like the flicks, and it always puzzled me because I was just like, they have nothing about military service in them. And they're like, that's why we like them.
Exactly.
You know?
Basically, every time I've gone to borrow a movie from someone, I'm flipping through their book of DVDs. I come across all your stuff. I run the TV stations on our ship when we're out to sea, and I'm constantly getting calls, hey, put on that movie where the guy fucks the donkey.
And you're like, I'm not showing you my home movies anymore. Totally.
Anyways, have you ever thought of doing a USO tour? Have they ever been approached for anything like that?
I don't know if I've ever been asked, because generally the USO asks like really well-known people and shit like that. And I don't know if they did ask me, I don't know if I could do it, because generally the USO is like, we're going to send you to Iraq, and I'm like, fuck you, no way. Bring them all home, and I'll do a show here, you know. But you know, they've never asked me. If they asked, I'd be happy to go. You know, I mean, look, I'm never going to fight for this fucking country. I'm too much of a pussy. But if I can go over and entertain some people who will fight for the country, that'll be me kind of doing my patriotic duty, I guess. Duty. Thank you, though, man. Thanks a lot.